So in general, to sum up the jail ministry, in the valley of the shadow of death is God's presence like nowhere else. And that's what we see all over the place. And that makes that jail ministry very powerful and very alive in the supernatural all the time. And I imagine some of what you all do will be just as intense, like I've said. So these are great opportunities for you all to, like I said, when we walk up to someone in devastation, the typical response is, man, that's so bad. And it is, well, it is, of course. But in the jail ministry, it's a little different. We know that in this badness, what is the face of God, His presence. And it really works that way. Now, it doesn't just say that in the Bible, but we will see these people turn to their Creator in these situations. So we go with it. And that's why we're there. And we don't really do a lot of the work. The Lord does. And it's very, very fulfilling. It's not fulfilling in a fulfilling in an incredibly deep way. We kind of assume in the jail ministry that everybody's living shallow in the world, and not everybody, but in general, so much shallowness and emptiness all around. And there's one answer to that: supernatural depth. And this guy never thought of this before. This guy's been going to church his whole life. He's actually a really strong, beautiful believer. He's very thankful. He's in this state. He's always thankful to Jesus. It's pretty amazing. But and he was able to see a new Christ-like perspective of radical acceptance. And I'm thinking they'll know us by our love, not by our condemning. I said this is, and I could tell he kind of had like breakthrough, like right when we started talking about it, like he felt a dimension of love he's not felt before. But of course, the Lord is waiting to open up in his soul. So that's the jail ministry. We really kind of view it always as a place of radical breakthrough every day for everybody. And we'll literally go up in the wings of the cells, the jail, and talk to the guys in the cells, just assuming that everybody's on the cusp of breakthrough. And it's really the case. I mean, there was a guy that was an atheist. This guy's name is amazing French name. Just kind of seems like a gangster. He's got this amazing French name, which is kind of interesting. But he would really, we get a lot of hecklers. Those of that small percent that's not Christian, they will be very opposed to Christianity, which is great. We love that. We love all the opposition. But he was a very outspoken heckler. I'll be talking to one guy, and he'll be over here yelling, "Your God's not real. It's all a bunch of contradictions and all that." And I said, "Well, let's talk about that." The great contradictions of the Bible are a big topic in the jail ministry. Very good topic, and because they really impact people. And I've made it sort of a mission of mine to study those and always have real responses, not garbage responses. Like a garbage response to a Bible contradiction would be, "Thou shalt not kill," 6th commandment, and then God commands all this killing. And then I say, "Oh no, because that's murder, and it says thou shalt not kill," so they're different words. See, I consider that a junk explanation for trying to get around a Bible contradiction. The real answer to that Bible contradiction is God says, "Thou shalt not kill." Not he himself should not kill. He's not talking to himself, he's talking to us. God's work is to bring people into the world and take them out in whatever ways for various reasons he deems. And when we try to do God's work, that's what Satan did, trying to be like God in a way that we're crossing the line, doing his works, not human works. So there's no contradiction. So when people hear that, they're really moved by that, because there's some wrong ideas are sort of spread all over the place in culture about Christianity. For example, the Trinity. You've all heard of the Trinity. Now that word does not even appear in the Bible, any of the Bibles, New Bibles or the older King James versions and so forth. But everybody's talking about the Trinity. And the Trinity is a primary area that, like, Muslims will want to, "Hey, your Trinity is a contradiction." And I'll say, "Well, that's not in the Bible." the word the Trinity, it's Godhead is used. God is like a self, different personalities, just like us. No contradiction. So it's very enjoyable to kind of take on the widespread false views of religion. It's very enjoyable to softly, delicately have responses that show that this is kind of how it works. People often have wrong ideas. And when you come to the right ideas, it brings happiness. So these are things we do day to day in the jail ministry, with really the goal of really just kind of helping people get perspective. That's a good way to put it. I mean, we don't view that we can save these people. Like, oh yeah, we saved this guy and this guy. No, God does all. In Christian terminology, God does the saving, not us. He may use me, but that's him doing it, not me. So what we do is we're just bringing perspective. Oh, you're in a crisis, Steve. Well, God brought you here. They're expecting us to say, oh, it's evil and God didn't do it. But the Bible's clear, God's in control. He's the creator of all things. So this situation you're in is created by God in some way. And very often it'll come up. The inmates will figure it out on their own, or will say, is it possible God wanted you here to stop what you were doing? Think about it. You're doing methamphetamine, hurting people, etc. And now you're here starting to turn your eyes to Jesus. What do you think makes more sense? And they'll say, yeah, okay, I get it. I'm here. I needed to be here. Right. There's a lot of that kind of discussion going on. So I imagine if you all here in Bronson Hospital, you're going to get someone saying, why did my child get hit by a car? Or why am I, with this disease? Will I get better? And man, these are golden situations. If your goal is to bring depth, because depth is happiness. That's our sort of conclusion of the jail ministry. Shallowness makes you want to turn to all this stuff, right? That's basically a view we hold. Some may disagree with that. Fine, maybe we're wrong, but that's a view we hold, that depth brings true joy. And depth is found in these situations of tragedy in a hospital or jail. So you see how that works? You're not going to get depth by watching Michigan lose the bowl game, right? You're going to get depth in the tragic situations here. So it's kind of works the opposite of the way we're told. Happiness doesn't, in the jail ministry, we don't really view happiness as coming with, owning another car, trying to get more money, watching more football. Do all those if you want. But if you want deep inner joy, it's working in these messy realities and only there. And you will find it, and it will be powerful, and it will change your life, and you want nothing but. That's kind of the summary of the jail ministry. So we're always trying to find the darkness, dive right into it, and then find the light of Christ there at the center.